Hi, I'm Melissa,
I'm Alicia.
and this is our coming out story. October 11th was National Coming Out Day, and we watched a lot of videos that people uploaded on YouTube for that, and so we decided that we wanted to do one of our own. So, you could start.
Okay. Um,
When did you realize you were gay?
okay, my realization was when I was 15 years old, and I was in high school, and I had a boyfriend of 3 years, and I always had crushes on boys, so I never really knew before at all until this. Don't laugh.
Sorry,
It's awkward for me too. And then I just all of a sudden had a crush on a girl, and it was like weird for me, and I just kind of shrugged it off. I was like, okay, whatever. And then I talked to certain friends about it, and they were like, you should pursue it. And so you know, then I broke up with my boyfriend, and I still told people I wasn't gay. I was like in denial about it. I was like, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. Like, you know. And then I finally realized that I was gay. And then I realized that when I was younger, I probably, there were so many different things that I thought, that, oh, I think, I probably knew I was gay then too. I just didn't know. I was too young to really know. So when I was 15 was my realization. And coming out to my friends, that was pretty easy. So it was hard. It was pretty easy for the most part. I mean, I went to a big high school, and it was not a lot of gay people. Like, it wasn't known for a lot of gay people like it is now. And so all my friends were straight, and so I, kind of like just came out slowly to a couple of them, and a couple of them, it was just different reactions. And I went through a lot, probably, like, with the bullying in high school, so I ended up getting homeschooled after that. But I had a lot of friend support besides that, besides one stupid kid named Joey Gomez. He's the one that bullied me, but I should have just kicked his ass, but
Now she would.
yeah,
She would.
now I would. And, but yeah, my friends were supportive, and, yeah, they were really cool. They were just in shock mode. And coming out to my family was probably the hardest. My mom, I think she always knew from when I knew. I think it wasn't really, I didn't really have to come out to her. And the people that I actually came out to was my sisters. That was the hardest thing. One of my friends called my sister on the phone actually and told her, and she was called me hysterically crying and was like, "What happened? Like, you're not gay?" And she was so pissed off and furious at me, and she's like, "I don't know, like, who you've been hanging out with, but they're making you think you're something you're not," and, like, said nasty things. And I called my other sister, and she was actually really supportive about it. She just said, we're in shock. Like, she's probably just really hurt. We thought we were going to all be walking through the park and pushing our babies in the strollers in the future, and now we can't see that, even though we could do that still. And so, yeah, that was the hardest part. One of my sisters coming out to. Both of them, it was pretty hard because they were both in shock. Now I think it's a lot better. One of them is still a little awkward, but the other one's, like, super cool and supportive. And my dad, I never really came out to him. Everyone told me to hide it from him. Like, they were like, my mom, she was like, don't ever tell him, like, And I was always super scared of him, so I just tried to hide it. It was kind of obvious when I started, like, I didn't date guys for a long time. He'd be like, oh, like, he would actually say, like, comments like, I think it's so cool that you don't go out and, like, date a lot of guys and stuff like that. Like, I was like, But then, 2 years ago, actually, I've been out for 10 years now, but just 2 years ago when I met Melissa, he started, just calling her my girlfriend, and he was all of a sudden Mr. Gay Proud Dad, and now he's super cool. So I never really had to come out to him, and he was just not what everyone expected him to be. So that's my coming out story, and my advice would be that if you haven't came out, to come out, because now that I'm out, the happiest I've ever been in my life, and I'm more comfortable than I've ever been in my life, and I'm proud of who I am. So that's it.
That was good.
Thanks.
Okay, so my story is completely different. Most of my life and my early adult life, I identified as straight. I had only dated guys and was married to at one time. And one thing I always say, though, that was weird and was different for me is that I never really was boy crazy. I never went through that phase. Like, I had a best friend who was really, really boy crazy, and she always wanted to, date guys, talk about guys, and she would get all obsessed with, like, a new guy every week. And I never really liked that, and it was always I didn't date very many people, but the people that I did date, it was always just kind of like a friendship grew, and I would get to know them, and I would care for them as a friend, and so the next step would be, to date them. And I don't necessarily think that's because I was gay or anything. I think I just, I don't know what it is. I just wasn't that way. I didn't ever look at a guy walking down the street and think, oh my God, he's so attractive, he's so hot, I want to date him. It was just like I would get to know people, and then, it just felt like the next natural step had to be to date them if they cared for me and I cared for them, and we had that, like, friendship connection kind of thing. So, yeah, that's how that happened. And then when I was 23, I was going through a really rough time. I was married and got a divorce, and that marriage was really seemingly perfect on the outside, and I think everyone on the outside thought it was like this great little, thing happening, and on the inside it was just really empty and not, what I thought marriage or being with someone forever would be. It was just kind of like it had to happen, and so it did. So that ended, and it ended just one day out of nowhere, and it was unexpected, and I didn't think it would happen the way it happened. So I was going through a really hard time, and I came back. I moved back to California and met a lot of new friends and reconnected with a lot of old friends from my childhood. And I had met someone that later became, like, my best friend, and he was gay. So in my family, I grew up Christian, and just being gay or even having just gay friends was really taboo. So, but right when I met him, we hit it off, we clicked, we had a lot of the same interests. I loved him, I hung out with him all the time. So I started just bringing him around my parents and my family. Like, I would just kind of force it on them. I'd bring him and just be like, this is Brian, he's cool, blah, blah. Oh, I guess I shouldn't have said his name. Anyways, so, but that's just the way that happened, and I think my mom was kind of uncomfortable with it. She was kind of like, whoa, you're hanging out with gay people now? Like, they're going to turn you gay. And so, so,
was right.
She was right. But, so anyways, through that friend, I met Alicia, and I was at a party one night, and she was there, and we didn't talk that whole night. We didn't ever really hang out or talk, but I noticed her, and I just thought that she was so, like, endearing. Something about her just drew me in, and I wanted to know her, and I wanted to get to know her, and I just felt like I wanted to know everything about her. So, but I didn't talk to her because I didn't know her, and I was just, like, kind of looking from afar. So when I left the party that night, I told her, I was like, you're so cute, I like you, like, I didn't say I like you, I said, no. You're so cute. And she said, you're cute too, and then we just left, and whatever, that was it. So from then on, I had the hugest crush on her. Like, I had told my friends, we like, kind of were talking a little bit, like, on Facebook or text message, and I would even tell her, like, I have such a crush on you. And inside, I didn't really know what was going on. Like, it was really natural, and I just went on gut, like I always have in my life with everything. But it was like I didn't take it so seriously. Like, I didn't think I would be with her ever, And so we started talking, and we went on a date as friends, and it was, like, really awkward. We were just, like, so shy and didn't really talk. And so I really thought this is going to go nowhere, so whatever, you know. And one night, I was with a friend, and this friend of mine is bisexual, and she's dated a lot of girls, so I think I felt comfortable coming out to her, and I told her, you know, I have the biggest crush on this girl. Like, I think she thinks I just like her as a friend or whatever, and I have, like, the huge crush on her. Like, I can't stop thinking about her. And so she kind of really encouraged me to contact Alicia, and she's like, you have to tell her. You have to be, like, bold and just tell her, you know, I like you. You know, it's not just me flirting or whatever. So, one night I texted her and told her, you know, a few things about how I felt, and we went on a real date after that. And it was just, like, different. It was different than all the other times we'd hung out as friends, and it was just, like, comfortable and stuff. And so after that, we hung out all the time. So I was pretty much out, like, right away. Like, I was out on Facebook. We started dating. I would post pictures of us. I would call her my girlfriend. I never, ever even thought in my head to be secretive about it or to be not myself, because that's just not who I am at all. I've never been scared of what people think. And so I kind of just was just out, you know. But coming out to my mom and my parents and stuff was different. It was a lot harder. My mom was really, really upset. Like I said, you know, they're very religious and they have their beliefs and stuff, and I consider myself religious too. You know, I love God, and I'm a Christian. I you know, identify as a Christian, and I also identify as being, you know, with a girl and in a gay relationship. So my mom, you know, had heard through some people on Facebook, had called her, and she was just hysterical and crying and called me. And but she did say, you know, I do love you. She said, I love you, but I think what you're doing is wrong, and it's not a good path for you, you know. And since then, she's come around. We are over at the house all the time, and she hangs out with me. She hangs out with Alicia, you know, and she cares about Alicia. And I never even thought we would get to that point. If any of you are scared to come out because you think there's no way that my family will ever accept me, trust me, I've been there. I never, ever thought she would be cordial or talk to or be friendly with Alicia. And
it gets better.
It does get better. It does get better. It's true what they say. And you know, my sister is really supportive. I have a few supportive fans. Really, my fans. It's the end of the video. I can't mess up. I have really supportive friends. Can you stop laughing so we can edit it?
There you go.
So, I have a lot of really, really, really supportive friends. But, I mean, we did get a lot of hate, and we did get a lot of, you know, people that didn't accept us and accept our relationship. But I think that even with straight couples, I think that happens. I think just whenever two people find happiness, there's just certain people that aren't happy with themselves, and they have to hate, and they have to cause, you know, problems for your relationship. And you just have to know that if it's meant to be, and you're meant to be together, and you've fought through hard times and bad times, like we definitely have, then, you know, it's worth it, and it doesn't matter what anybody else says. So, yeah, that's our coming out stories. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all later. And keep posting your videos, because we really, really, really enjoy watching them. They're really, really inspiring and uplifting. Bye. Did it already?